Hello, my name is Dominik Galasztok and I will provide a commentary for a presentation about intercultural communication and globalization. This presentation was made by me and my colleague Luboš Velčík. The term intercultural communication, as the name of the field, is first used by American anthropologist Edward T. Hall in his Silent Language book. It's a book about how people can talk to each other without the use of words, so basically about non-verbal communication of sorts. So what is intercultural communication exactly? There are many definitions of this term, but they all come together in one specific point. Intercultural communication is all about how different cultures interact with each other. But what is intercultural communication as a field of study? It is a combination of many fields that are connected to human communication, culture, and behavior, such as anthropology, psychology, etc. Identity and culture are also studied within the discipline of intercultural communication to analyze how globalization influences ways of thinking, beliefs, values, and identity within and between cultural environments. There are three main approaches to intercultural communication. Indigenous approach focuses on the meaning of concepts in a culture and how such meaning may change across demographics within a given culture context. The focus of such studies is the development of knowledge about a specific culture. Cultural approach is same as indigenous, but with added focus on socio-cultural context of an individual. The aim is to advance the understanding of the individual in a social-cultural context and to emphasize the importance of culture in understanding his or her behavior. Cross-cultural approach focuses on two or more cultures and on the interactions and similarities between them. There are two types of intercultural communication. First is verbal communication. It's focused on use of words, tone and volume of voice, and emphasis on particular phrases. These factors have an influence on how the message is received by the listener, and due to different meanings of words between different cultures and languages, there is a possibility of miscommunication. Verbal communication can be accompanied by nonverbal cues, such as facial expressions or body language, which takes us to the second type, and that is nonverbal communication. In nonverbal communication, we use various gestures, posture, facial expressions, and others to help us better express ourselves. Nonverbal communication is often accompanied by verbal communication. Object language is a subtype of nonverbal communication. It is also known as material culture. It refers to how people communicate with the use of material objects, and encompasses everything from cosmetics to architecture. Global interconnectivity has made intercultural communication a very important factor for businesses. If the employees of a multicultural company are skilled in intercultural communication, it helps them clear misunderstandings among themselves, improve productivity, proficiency, and teamwork. But it also has benefits in business itself. A company looking to expand its business to Japan will have a receptive welcome if it understands important cultural factors crucial to business transactions. Modern organizations are composed of diverse people, and a good leader of such a company should lead their teams to understand the company's policies while also accommodating the diverse views of the employees. Now, let me skip over to the second part of this presentation, which is about globalization. Globalization means the speed up of movements and exchanges of human beings, goods and services, capital, technologies, or cultural practices, all over the planet. One of the effects of globalization is that it promotes and increases interactions between different regions and populations around the globe. World Health Organization defines globalization as the increased interconnectedness and interdependence of peoples and countries. According to the Committee for Development Policy, from an economic point of view, globalization can be defined as the increasing interdependence of world economies as a result of the growing scale of cross-border trade of commodities and services, the flow of international capital, and the wide and rapid spread of technologies. It reflects the continuing expansion and mutual integration of market frontiers and the rapid growing significance of information in all types of productive activities, and marketization are the two major driving forces for economic globalization. In geography, globalization is defined as the set of processes, economic, social, cultural, technological, or institutional, that contribute to the relationship between societies and individuals around the world. It is a progressive process by which exchanges and flows between different parts of the world are intensified. Cultural globalization refers to the interpenetration of cultures which, as a consequence, means that nations adopt principles, beliefs, and customs of other nations, losing their unique culture to a unique, globalized supraculture. As for political globalization, a good example is the development and growing influence of international organizations such as the United Nations or World Health Organization, which results in the governmental action taking place at an international level. There are other bodies operating on a global level such as NGOs like Doctors Without Borders or Oxfam. Sociological globalization revolves around the fact that information moves almost in real time, together with the interconnection and interdependence of events and their consequences. People move all the time too, mixing and integrating different societies. Globalization has benefits that cover many different areas. It reciprocally developed economies all over the world and increased cultural exchanges. It also allowed financial exchanges between companies, changing the paradigm of work. Many people are nowadays citizens of the world. The origin of goods became secondary, and geographic distance is no longer a barrier for many services to happen. Let's dig deeper. A good cultural example would be an increase in human exchanges such as migration, expatriation, or traveling. These human exchanges have contributed to the development of cultural exchanges. This means that different customs and habits shared among local communities have been shared among communities that have or used to have different procedures and even different beliefs. Good examples of cultural globalization are, for instance, trading of commodities such as coffee or avocados. Coffee is said to be originally from Ethiopia and consumed in the Arabid region. Nonetheless, due to commercial trades after the 11th century, it is nowadays known as a globally consumed commodity. At the same time, books, movies, and music are now instantaneously available all around the world thanks to the development of the digital technology and the power of the Internet. And that will be all from me. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and goodbye.